The first time I ever seen Lequan, I was surprised to see what he was doing. Gambling. The second time I seen him, I was even more surprised. He was at the nightclub. I'm telling Lequan's story not because he can't, but only because I can do it a little bit faster. Lequan's patience is unchallenged, and the amount of effort to communicate a single thought or idea may seem daunting to a person like me or you. But to him, that's normal. And for those willing to listen, he's willing to talk. Sort of. Lequan has to do all of his communicating through an $8,000 speaking board, which also dubs for a television remote and way to talk on a cell phone. Every word has to be meticulously selected with his joystick every time.
Well, you're in a different one.
I was born with cerebral palsy, known as CP. I have a physical disability, not a mental one.
We used to go out skating over at Spinning Wheels. He fell out of his wheelchair a couple times out there. Going around in circles. He would let people hold onto his chair while he goes around the ring.
Those first 2 times that I seen Lequan, he had no board at all and had no means of communication. What I would ultimately come to find out is that Lequan is part of the Chippewa tribe here in Mount Pleasant. And with the money allocated to him from the casino, he moved out on his own. He now lives with his nephew Kevin and gets help from his caregiver Katie. Him and Katie have a very unique relationship. Like I told her, they reminded me more of a team than a caregiver and patient. And she told me that they were more friends than anything.
We can do that as soon as you get I get you up.
No.
That's me. It starts.
Lequan's greatest problem isn't moving, it's communicating. I came back later on this day when I was told nobody would be there but Lequan, and to my surprise, I walked in and him and his father were watching wrestling. His father told me how Lequan was adopted at 8 months, after his mother gave birth to a stillborn child. The doctors told his mother that this child would have been disabled. Because of this, his mother decided that they wanted to adopt Lequan. After this, his father also adopted another special needs child, along with 6 other of his own children. One of the reasons Lequan moved out on his own was to give his aging father a break from all the hard years of work and caregiving. Lequan's greatest challenge isn't moving, it's communicating. Through this story, I wanted to shed some light on our society's ignorance. So it killed me to hear that his own tribe took him to court in attempts to end his monthly payments under the ideal that he didn't understand what he was doing with the money.
Are you coming in here?
But do you think people sometimes judge you right away and think that you might not be able to understand what they're saying?
Yes.
Can I tell him a story? Can I tell him a story? He told me one time he was at the bar and there was this group of people that were signing to each other and just assumed that he knew what they were talking about. Just assumed that he knew sign language. So he was just like, I have no idea what these people are saying. And then like people come up to me all the time and like talk to me instead of talk to him.
Okay.
So like they ask me a question and I'm like, ask him. He can tell you. You know?
Right. Yeah.
You know, he's fully capable. It just takes him a second to get it out, but it's funny to see how people react to him.
Lequan has showed me the true power of a positive attitude and resilience of the human spirit. I told Lequan about an Indian man named Meher Baba and his lifelong vow of silence. He said man had been given enough words that he chooses to ignore and twist, and there was no more words to give, so he didn't give any at all. And while Lequan speaks no words, I feel the energy of his presence. To me, Lequan has a deep wisdom that we can't understand. So if you ever see him out on the streets, don't be afraid to talk to him because he speaks a few languages.
Ici, 1, 2, 3. Testing. 1, 2, 3.